Mortal Kombat 1 has a substantial single-player component to the game, according to game director and Mortal Kombat co-creator Ed Boon, and this new information gives us some insight into the mode. Not only that, we've got a lot more lore to discuss as well, covering the newly revealed characters in Reptile, Ashrah, and Havik. Plus, the entire roster of Mortal Kombat 1 as revealed thus far. We've got a lot to cover, fellas, so let's get straight into the content. Before we get into the single-player content, let's just go over every single character revealed so far and see the full roster as we know it in Mortal Kombat 1. With a total roster of 24 characters, without the combat pack and pre-order bonus of Shang Tsung, here is a complete list of the core main roster. In alphabetical order, we have Ashrah, Baraka, Garrus, Havik, Johnny Cage, Kenshi, Kitana, Kung Lao, Li Mei, Liu Kang, Mileena, Raiden, Rain, Reptile, Scorpion, Shang Tsung, Smoke, Sub-Zero, and Tanya. That is 19 fighters confirmed so far for the main roster, with the pre-order bonus of Shang Tsung bumping that up to 20. With the DLC confirmed in the combat pack, this adds Ermac, Homelander, Omni-Man, Peacemaker, Quan Chi, and Takeda. We know we have 24 characters to expect in the complete roster, so without these DLC fighters, 5 fighters still come up unaccounted for, of which we will of course learn more in time for the game's launch next month. As far as the cameo fighters are concerned, we have Cyrax, Frost, Goro, Jax Briggs, Johnny Cage, Kano, Kung Lao, Serena, Scorpion, Sector, Sub-Zero, Sonya Blade, and Stryker. We will, of course, update this list as more fighters get confirmed. With the fighters established so far for Mortal Kombat 1, there has been some huge new lore insight into the newly revealed playable fighters coming to Mortal Kombat 1, being Reptile, Ashrah, and Havik. In my previous video, linked in the description, we discussed each of these characters as they related to the original timeline in which they debuted in. But according to these newly released character bios, we can see that these characters have a lot more to tell us in this new timeline in Mortal Kombat 1. Ashrah, a demon from the Netherrealm, would often jump back and forth between alliances back in her debut in Mortal Kombat Deception, but in Mortal Kombat 1's new timeline, Ashrah certainly comes across as a purveyor of good. Growing up thinking that conflict and pain permeated all civilizations, she learned about the error of her ways when she traveled outside of Netherrealm, realizing that not all realms were as tumultuous as her own. Finding peace in the other realms she ventured to, did she come to terms with her new goal of freeing herself from the Netherrealm. With her enchanted Kris in hand, she learned that the weapon would purify her soul upon destroying evil. Seeking to rid the evil completely from her soul with her Kris, while fleeing from her sister demons as they mark her as a traitor to the Netherrealm, we will undoubtedly see a lot of character growth from Ashrah here in this new timeline. Another big change revolves around Havik, now a citizen of the realm of Sado, and not Chaos Realm, of whom he championed in the original timeline. In this new character bio, we see that Havik is a member of Sado's lowest caste, where his privileges and ways of life are strictly regulated. Punished and tortured for a menial crime, Havik recognizes Sado's strict and powerful stranglehold on its heavily regulated castes and societal structure where law and order are held above all else. Seeking to rebel against the regime that confined him and his people to a life of order and what could be described as a police state, Havik aspires to replace the order of Sado with that of an anarchist utopia. Freeing its citizens of its hierarchical order, Havik aspires for his people to live in absolute anarchy. Now, here is where things get really exciting with Havik. In the original timeline, Havik would come into conflict with Hotaru, a general whose duty was to uphold the order within the realm of Sado at all costs. Hotaru, also making his debut in Mortal Kombat Deception, was always at odds with Havik's anarchical lust for the destruction of order, and thus it is possible that we may be able to encounter Hotaru in this new timeline since he was previously synonymous with Sado and its rule. Perhaps as a cameo fighter in the future? We also know that Havik deeply opposed the rule of the Dragon King Onaga, the primary antagonist of Mortal Kombat Deception, so who knows what will come of these characters in the greater Mortal Kombat Deception universe. Havik had his hands in a lot of the events of Deception, and seeing as he is now a citizen of Sado in this new timeline and is still opposed to Order as he always was, I've got a hunch we will be hearing more about these characters from Deception in Mortal Kombat 1 story mode. Moving on to Reptile. He too has seen some rather big changes over who he was in the original timeline. Once part of the Saurian race who fled Earthrealm to the realm Zaterra in the previous timeline, this new timeline confirms that Reptile is Zaterran, a reptiloid race of whom lives on Outworld's fringes. The ability to camouflage themselves is a trademark of this race, but Reptile possesses a unique mutation which allows him to shapeshift to appear human, a trait that he was mercilessly bullied for. It was because of his mistreatment that he left Zaterra in search for a new home where he could make a future for himself away from the Zaterrans who shunned him. I freaking love the new angles NetherRealm Studios has taken with these characters, as we'll undoubtedly see many new sides to these classic fighters throughout the game. Let me know in the comments which characters you are interested in learning more about in Mortal Kombat 1's new timeline. Alright, about that new single player information. What we're about to cover is a leak, and for those who would rather be left unaware of any leaks, let this leak warning help you make that decision whether or not to click off the rest of this video. While this news has been covered by plenty of content creators and games journalists, I just want to let you know beforehand what you're getting into. Just wanted to put that out there. Alright, still here? Let's take a look at what this leak entails for Mortal Kombat 1's expansive single player offering. Over on Reddit, we got news via Jefferson Camargo about what could likely be part of Mortal Kombat 1's massive single-player game modes. This Redditor shared some information they found on the back of Mortal Kombat 1's box for the Brazilian PS5 version and translated the Portuguese into English, giving us a better understanding of what this single-player mode may entail. On the back of the box and in the middle of your screen, we see the word Invasions. The text for this, again translated from Portuguese into English, reads, "Travel through the realms of Mortal Kombat, fighting invasions from each season in this new single-player experience." Of course, the English translation could vary quite a bit, but this gives us a little bit of information to go on when scoping out what this mode could entail. The accompanying picture here looks like some sort of character highlighted on a map in what appears to be an isometric view of the player's surroundings, almost coming across as a board game not dissimilar to something like Mario Party. It also looks quite a bit like Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance's Conquest mode, don't you think? We'll get into the aesthetic more later, but the most pressing thing to go over is that this mode, according to the translation, features seasons. Likely to be updated regularly, these seasons imply that the map will expand and change, offering different rewards in real time, and acting similarly to the towers in the previous Mortal Kombat games. Ed Boon has stated in the past that Mortal Kombat 1 will not feature battle passes, but we'll have to see exactly what this mode entails when it is revealed officially from NetherRealm Studios. From what it looks like, this mode certainly gives off vibes of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate's single-player offering in World of Light, a mode that had players guide Kirby around an overworld map, fighting off dark doppelgangers of the game's cast. These battles often employed certain conditions that changed up the fights, preventing the game mode from becoming too stale. It definitely sounds like Mortal Kombat 1's Invasions mode could indeed be quite similar to this mode, giving us a large overworld map to explore and defog, all while having players go through traditional fights with other characters, potentially participating in minigames like Test Your Might and Test Your Strike, etc. I'm sure Test Your Luck may make its way back into this game mode as well, as really, the possibilities are quite large for a mode like this. Due to the changing nature of the seasons, new items and cosmetics are likely to be offered, where the currency of the Dragon Crystals are likely to take effect. Of course, this is all just speculation from my end, so let's be patient and wait for an official announcement from NetherRealm Studios before we discuss this mode any further. That said, I want to hear from you in the comments what your thoughts are surrounding this leak. As for me, I am always going to champion fighting games that have substantial single-player content to them. The older Mortal Kombat games on the PS2 era had exceptional conquest modes, and the recent Street Fighter VI showed the industry how it's done in the modern era by including a robust, fully featured single-player mode in a fighting game with World Tour. Let's hope that this mode offers a compelling incentive for those wanting to take a break from getting their asses kicked online, right? Make sure to watch this video for a more in-depth look at the newly revealed characters, along with rumors of the second combat pack. Stay tuned to this channel for more Mortal Kombat 1 information as we approach the game's release date, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one.